Hello, my name is Benjamin Pardo and I'm the Director of Design for Knoll. And we're here in Chicago at the 41st NeoCon in 2008. It's a new showroom for Knoll this year. I'm really pleased with our expansion. We have an additional 40 feet of window frontage. And we also have a pending LEED certification. I don't know yet as to whether or not we're going to end up being silver or gold in the work area associated with what we're doing. We have products that are being introduced in the arena of systems, in storage. We have Dorothy's fantastic textile collections again, and the introduction nationally of the Knoll Luxe line. We have some wonderful pieces in the studio area, both in terms of contract and in terms of some residential pieces that we're bringing forward as well. The work that we're going to see today, both in terms of the showroom and the products, is really demonstrative of the passion that Knoll has had for design over the past 70 years. This is the new Autostrada leg. It's a little bit more masculine and a little bit more architectural in scale. The thing that I really like about it is depending on how you look at the leg, it's either very, very thin in profile, about 1.25 inches, but as you move around the leg visually, you start to really talk about the mass. And the other thing that I absolutely love about the leg is that it is inspired by the architectural column of Mies van der Rohe, specifically at Crown Hall. The other option for the Autostrada leg is in a painted finish, but I think more importantly what we can look at is the opportunity to have some side modesty and this wonderful little gap which allows us to draw a cord all the way down and conceal it behind that. The other question becomes one that connectivity is not only on one side of the L but also on the other, providing with the capacity for full frontal modesty. The other story associated with enhancements this year on Autostrada has a lot to do with glass, and it really is glass used in 3 ways. Clear glass is being used as a boundary. It divides and physically decides where my space begins and your space ends. But at the same time, it gives you the opportunity to see through it and communicate to your coworker. The next one is really reflective glass, and this glass is the most interesting one to me, because in that reflectivity, what's happening is that I'm seeing everything on the other side of that panel. So the workstation itself now belongs there, and I can create a whole new environment. In this particular case, I've set up a conference room. The third type of glass is opaque glass. And this glass is very important for the specifier when they want to create an ethereal quality of transmission or sight. It gives the opportunity for the user to be able to feel contained in a space, but at the same time, when you're walking along a corridor, you can't necessarily see them or identify them or the things that they're working on their desk.
Based on last year's success, what we've really tried to do is continue looking at where the A&D community is, where corporate culture is, how that's changing, and then offering product solutions that really start to address that and really put together, hopefully, what is the most holistic system out in the marketplace. So we have open planning, we have more additions to private office, we have complete table and desking programs. They're all now part of Horizons. We also continue on the material story that we started last year with screens and bring in other materials so that people can start to define space in a different way, blur those boundaries. But I think really this goes back to the A&D community in a way that's about the culture of work and celebrating that inside the office place.
This year at NeoCon we have individual workstations, shared workstations, and collaborative workstations. And at the moment we're sitting in an individual station, typified by a very simple and straightforward panel surround, utilizing the new and fantastic open weave by Suzanne Tick to give us that transparency. You'll note the new wood cap all the way around, and also the use of wood on all of the surfaces, including the desk, the credenza, and the back work wall itself. The credenza in this case is completely freestanding, and the desk is independent, giving the user a real true understanding of private office that can then flow out into the open plan. This Dividends Horizon shared space combines exterior panels and freestanding storage elements. The other thing to talk about are a number of really fantastic new materials. The first is a micro-etched glass that provides a fantastic translucency inserted in the panel. And the second is a reticulated safety glass that gives us pattern and foil to what it is that's happening beyond, but still gives us transparency. But one of the things that makes this a fantastic and wonderful shared space is really this 15-inch deep storage unit. It has a series of drawers. It's open so that I can communicate with my work partner on the opposite end, or should I choose, I can turn and work parallel to the corridor so I can see people approaching, and always turn and have communication with my workmate. Our work on the new desk height panel facilitates the specification of this really fantastic collaborative work environment. It's made up of a series of panels, so it relates to dividends and can be constructed in a traditional systems-like way, but is low and provides people with the capability to work one next to the other in that kitchen table-like capacity. And finally, I really want to talk to you about this wonderful table desk. It has a very traditional dividends horizon aluminum leg, but Jeffrey spent some time really thinking through the top shape, and I'm really thrilled with it. It's clear to me that he was definitely inspired by the Florence Knoll boat top shape. This year we're working on a new storage-based platform with Masamichi Utagawa and Ziggy Moslinger of Antenna Design. It's 15 inches deep, and it plays a very important role in planning and in the division of space.
Workplace has been transforming from a cubicle-based individual space to more collaborative environment. And our new storage system provides a unique solution that combines space articulation and storing functions. But also it's about personality of the people working in there. So providing flexibility for different material choices, finishes, that becomes very important.
Designed by Formway, with a slim silhouette and a new color and finish palette, Life sets the standard for ergonomics and innovative design. Rated Sustainable Gold this year under the Smart Consensus Sustainable Product Standard, Life can help contribute to achieving a LEED Innovation in Design credit.
This is the Moment chair. This is the cantilevered side chair for Knoll. The cantilevered side chair is the ultimate modern chair in that it is a pure expression of the structure of just 2 legs, doesn't have 4 legs, a floating seat plane and a floating seat back. Within Knoll's heritage, it's very much associated with the Mies MR chair. And like that chair, we tried to capture the floating seat plane by reducing all of the connections in the seat plane and in the seat back. And as you see here, the seat back has a piece of plastic that just cleaves through the aluminum tubing as it goes around.
How lucky am I to have an opportunity to work with Joe Durso on a collection of sofas and lounge pieces. Joe's history is absolutely fantastic. He started his practice in 1968, and working with Ward Bennett really created the ideas of high tech.
Being as I've done interiors for about 40 years, I have a pretty good idea of all the products that are out there, and I'm constantly looking for things and not finding exactly what I want. So I use that as a challenge to try to design something that suits the function that I need. As far as the sofa is concerned, it's meant to be a sofa that people can really relax in and 2 people can climb on and curl up in. It's deep. We're offering it different depths and different heights, which I think is a really nice feature to have. And this lounge chair that I'm sitting in is meant to be a small but comfortable, fun chair to sit in. It swivels, which is something that really interests me. I find people really are much more comfortable in chairs that can move with them.
I'm sitting in the wonderful wing chair in both leather and upholstery, and behind me there are a series of really great side chairs or dining chairs. What's so unique about them is that they're relatively small in scale, so you can fit a lot of them around the table, but at the same time they provide the user with an arm, something that's really hard to find in a side or dining chair. This year we're introducing a 3-piece collection by Chini Bueri. The first piece is the poof I'm sitting on. It's a wonderful soft square that you can use to sit on, engage in conversation. The second is the 2-seat sofa, and the last one is this really wonderful seat and a half. And the seat and a half is a great place to sit down and snuggle with a child or a dog, or also sit down and work with your computer. All of the pieces are actually quite deep and big in scale and have big floppy pillows that you can support yourself with. The other thing about all of the sofas is that they're all set up on casters so that they can be moved so that you can clean under them easily or reposition them as well. Rounding out our new designs is a collection by Ross Lovegrove. It's a fantastic collection of tables, storage, and credenzas. I'm sitting with this wonderful jewel-like top, all recycled plastic, a reference back to some bright, pungent acid wash glass in a wonderful, wonderful green, and a very simple series of white in the base and in the storage credenza. In addition, there are a series of marble tops, a very long, low credenza that could potentially be used in residential use, and my all-time favorite, the tutti frutti leg on the simple table that can be used either as a desk or dining table.
So here we have Knoll Felt and Knoll Hopsack, two new 100% wool products that we've just launched into the line. They're available in 36 colorways, saturated brights, warm and cool neutrals, and we really consider these new classics for the line. They're a nod to our past, that we consider products that will eventually be foundation products for Knoll Textiles. Here we have our first introduction of indoor-outdoor products. It's Rio and Belize. What's wonderful about these products is that they truly are indoor-outdoor in terms of color and scale, and they are considered 100% recyclable. Also new to Knoll is a brand new high sheen polyurethane, available in 19 colors. These are fun, edgy, modern, elegant. They range from warm and cool neutrals to really fun saturated brights. And then here are more classic Knoll textiles for the corporate environment. You have Kimono, which is a beautiful large-scale Japanese-inspired design that's got the architectural stripe or the modern stripe, and then the large-scale floral that rests on top. And then you've got the Obi. Obi is mid-scale, geometric, strong, linear pattern. Knoll Luxe begins where Knoll Textiles ends. It is a new brand for the company, and it consists of 10 new patterns that I've designed from the ground up with over 70 colorways. And what's unique about this line is that we've taken ourselves sort of up brand, and we're appealing to the high-end corporate, high-end hospitality and residential markets. What's unique about the product is where these were all woven. It is 9 mills in 8 different countries, including the United States. And to highlight a few of them, this is actually a combination of wool and cashmere. It's a warp stripe, woven in Scotland. It's 6 different colors that create this very soft, subtle stripe. And this is a cross-dyed mohair, so it's a super high pile mohair combined with a little bit of rayon, but it's woven in a way that gives it a luxurious high pile. And then this is Jaipur, the featured textile in the group, actually hand embroidered in India. The origins of Knoll Textile lay in what Florence Knoll called a necessity. With Knoll Luxe, I'm hoping to continue a tradition of what is now 61 years old of classic, modern, forward-thinking, yet beautiful textiles.
For 70 years, Knoll has used modern design to connect people with their work, their lives, and their world. Our products combine artistic inventions with functional efficiency and a commitment to environmental sustainability, and our passion has been shared by customers worldwide.